This is an advanced agent prompting technique. I'm going to call it stochastic multi-agent consensus, but personally, I think that's kind of a lame name. So if you guys have any better ideas, let me know. The idea is you want to search something. And when you search, what you're really doing kind of mathematically is you're exploring the space of all possible ideas or opportunities. And so in my case, what I'm doing here is I'm looking for the best, most well-researched supplement stack for general male health. Think strength, cognition, testosterone, fertility, longevity, whatever is the best. And you want to do this really quick, but you also want to take into account the fact that LLMs are flexible. And so one search done at one time may give you slightly different results from another search done at another time. What stochastic multi-agent consensus is instead of just doing one search, you actually have your main agent orchestrate the spawning of 10 sub-agents. You have all them do the exact same or slightly different searches. You then compile a giant list of all possible answers to that problem, and then you take the median, so kind of like the average, and the mode, which are the specific options that it presents you the most often. And then what you do is you combine all of this together into one summary report. Despite costing significantly more in obviously tokens, you get a much higher quality response. And the reason why you do is because AI agents will always do something slightly different from one run to the next. And this essentially takes advantage of that fact. And then it also allows you to look for like the less explored opportunities, the recommendations that AI agents will give maybe 15% of the time, but not the other 85% of the time, and then still include that into the final result. And so this is what's going on. I just spawned 10 independent research agents. As you see here in my prompt, I also say Opus 4.6. The reason why I do that is because I don't want my research sub-agents to have any like difference in intellect or like cognitive power than the main parent one. The prompt itself is spawn n agents with the same prompt, slight framing variations, find the mode and median across all responses, outlier ideas will get flagged separately. How it works, we're going to give 10 agents identical context and nearly identical prompts. Everyone will independently analyze and then rank options. Consensus is what 7 out of 10 agree on. These are safe bets. Divergences are where they split 50-50. So this is where one agent says this is good, another agent says this is bad. And then outliers, this is the really important bit, are ideas that only a couple of agents will propose. These ones are technically high variance and potentially also very high value. So I use this sort of ideation all the time. I'm going to let this puppy run, but I use this anytime I'm determining like new product ideas for business. I'm doing this for like video ideas for my YouTube based off YouTube comments. I'm doing this for like potentially high impact decisions where I don't have answers to all the facts. But what I do is I paste it in like 500 miles of context about my situation. And then rather than just like prompt an agent once, be like, so what would you do in my shoes? I prompt it 10 times, get a big list of possible things and say, that one might actually be a good idea. That one might not be a good idea. And as a result, I've been growing a lot faster across not only my main channel, this channel, but also other like business, avenues as well. Like we're running a dental marketing agency essentially right now. This has been extraordinarily impactful in determining different things that I could do within that dental marketing agency to improve revenue. Granted, I started doing this a week ago, so there's always going to be some lag between inputs and outputs. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people are doing this, and I figured I'd share it with you. Okay, so anyway, it looks like we're already done, I don't know, something like 3 or 4 of these. I'm going to wait until all of these are done, and then when they are, I will show you guys the results. Okay, so just scrolling through here, it looks like we are done most of these task outputs. What it's doing now is it is aggregating all of the results, and it's going to compile it into basically like a little document for me. So we have agent 1 that was clinical, agent 2 that was sports med, agent 3 that's biochem. You could see that there are a variety of, a lot of similar results here, right? Taurines coming up time and time again, creatines coming up time and time again, but different agents that are specifically geared towards, let's say, endocrine health, functional health, meta-analyses, biohacker, I don't know what this is, evolutionary biology probably, are also coming up. So what we're going to do is we're going to synthesize a report that contains all of these things, both the consensus, the divergences, and then the outlier ideas. And then it's going to give me the analysis, which is cool. So it looks like 7 out of 10 agents agree on 8 supplements that most men should be taking, not accounting for variances in individual genes and stuff like that. Creatine monohydrate, 5 grams a day. Vitamin D3 plus K2, 4 to 5,000 IU. Magnesium, 400 milligrams elemental, omega-3, 2 to 3 combined, zinc, 15 to 30, ashwagandha, that's really interesting, tongkat ali, these are things I'm not taking, then boron, that's really fascinating. I don't take any of that stuff at the bottom here. I take basically everything above, but as somebody that's trying to optimize my health and stay as young as humanly possible, it's kind of new. We also have some very strong consensus across taurine and then CoQ10, which is ubiquinol. That's really interesting. I used to take that. I don't take it anymore. And then we're also going to grab, this little consensus matrix on the cost per day. 5 cents a day, 12 cents, so on and so forth. You just add all that stuff up. Looks like Coke 10 is the most expensive out of all the options. I guess omega-3s are as well. Okay, and now we have some divergences. So this is where, basically you need to take your own genetics or whatever into account. Glycine and collagen, not direct performance or hormonal supplement. Strong ad for men 30 plus or anyone lifting heavy. I am also now a man that is 30 plus, so that's valuable for me. B vitamins, folate, L-carnitine. Okay, and then we also have some outliers here, which are high variance ideas. Now, these things are basically like high risk, high reward sort of takes. Obviously, I'm going to take that into account when I decide to. They're high risk in terms of either like their cost, potential deleterious impacts on your health, and so on and so forth. So here it's giving us some rationale. That's just my agent receiving the task outputs, by the way, for every single one. So it's probably going to go on for a while. TMG, betaine, rhodiola rosea. That's interesting. Selenium, L-theanine, caffeine, vitamin C, D-aspartic acid. And so the way that, we sort of are going to make a decision is based off non-negotiables here, strong evidence adds, and then worth considering these are going to be things that like maybe I do, whether or not it makes sense. So, in my case, I'm taking NAC. I'll probably end up taking this Glide NAC thing. Okay, so pretty interesting. And this is obviously like for health purposes, but you guys can apply this to anything. Do this for like product ideation. One of the benefits to me publishing all of my life on my blog now is basically if I go to next few months of my life, comprehensive out of my lifestyle, so on and so forth, I basically have like a massive data dump where I've just journaled. And this is all context that I give to models so that they understand my desires, my goals, the way I make decisions and stuff like that. We feed this in as context, like a summarized version of all this stuff as context into these 10 agents. And then I'm just like, hey, what would you do next? And honestly, some pretty surprising high quality results, especially the ones that are really high variance. Now, I'm not saying you should follow AI blindly or anything like that. That would be really stupid, to be honest. But, you interpret it through the lens of your own decisions. A lot of the time, this helps me find answers that I realistically would have come to eventually. It's just I would have probably spent like 2 hours just sitting in a room going back and forth. And then if you combine that with your own pre-existing decisions, I find you get higher quality results. Okay. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next.